There are some very, very significant differences between the urban population and the non-urban population. Our livelihoods are based on natural resource management and production that comes from that management. Whereas the economies in Geelong, Melbourne and the Mornington Peninsula, they're much more second and third level manufacturing, also a lot more service type things as in hospitals and education and so forth, and a lot more government employment in those urban areas. Now the problem that we have is that they make rules and legislation that are actually extremely detrimental for us. And just for example, the most obvious one from the area I'm from, that's an irrigation area of southern New South Wales. But I will say right now, irrigation is an extremely important and productive industry in Victoria and New South Wales. And of course, the most obvious problem is the Murray-Darling Basin Authority, the Murray-Darling Basin Plan, which is a water management plan administered in conjunction with the federal government and the state governments of Victoria and New South Wales. Now, the urban population basically make those decisions about how that works. Now, what they've decided and concluded is that we have to so-called save the environment, but that involves taking a lot of water out of irrigation and out of the creation of wealth in the country areas. And what we've found, Tim, is that over the last number of years, I and you and a lot of other people have been to a lot of protests, for example, and write to members of parliament and make a lot of representations to the parliaments and so forth. But the bottom line is it makes no difference.
Yep.
So
just real quick, why does it make no difference?
It makes no difference because the states are insurmountably politically dominated by those urban populations. Now, within that urban population, there's a very large subpopulation that is actually philosophically opposed to the industries that our livelihoods depend on. For example, the so-called environmental concerns that a lot of urban people have, they are not accurate concerns. They have been debunked, for example, but it doesn't make any difference because they're philosophically opposed to those industries, and for example the timber industry. That's a very important industry. It creates a lot of wealth, creates a lot of jobs and keeps a lot of people in these areas. But because there's a very significant urban population that doesn't think that trees should be cut down, well, those industries are being suppressed.
Yeah.
Now that takes away our wealth creation, takes away our jobs, and ultimately takes away our people.
Yeah.
So
I believe there's whole towns out Gippsland Way, for instance, that are basically looking at just being ghost towns. You know, it's destroyed them. So, sorry, go on.
We've had like some of these forests there. The timber industry is it's a really good example. Now that industry has been in existence for a long, long time. And in some examples over 150 years. And these forests, for example state forests, have been logged for over 150 years. Now it's a very selective logging. They don't just go through and clear fell at all. So they select certain particular trees, only so many trees in such an area, and then they allow for plenty of regrowth. So it's a self-sustaining industry. But that doesn't matter because there's that significant population in the city area that is philosophically opposed to the timber industry insists that that industry be shut down. So in Gippsland, for example, the suppression of the timber industry in Gippsland is a disaster. Those forests have been logged for well over 100 years. There's still lots of trees there, ample trees because of the selective harvesting that they do. But those industries are shut down. And those people lose their jobs, and then those towns basically wither and decline because the wealth creation's not there, the jobs aren't, and the people aren't there. But it's not because of the people in the countryside; it's because of the people in the urban population.
Yes. Yeah, and look, I mean, it's going to be hard to do a short interview because we could talk about just that one industry for hours.
Yep.
You know, but there's so much more to it because they've taken away a lot of the firefighting and all of these sorts of, it's a huge conversation, it's a big problem. But I think the point is this stuff's coming out of, in this case for Gippsland's coming out of Melbourne, but really, you know, it comes from Sydney as well. They make national parks. I think you've spoken about that before. You know, so these city, urban areas are making these decisions. We all suffer. They kill our communities. That's the point. We need to do something.
They absolutely do, Tim.
Yeah.